How you doing today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm okay, a little semi-stressed
Oh,
because of the technical difficulties,
right.
but we're here, and I'm happy to say hello to Nanette Thelemaque. Did I say your last name properly this
Yes, you
time?
did.
Okay, I'm doing good. Okay, well, we're here today to talk to Nanette about the successful marketing campaign she ran this summer, where she picked up some big clients. And because marketing is something that every virtual assistant needs to be aware of and learn different techniques, some of which they'll probably use and others they won't, but just to be aware of the opportunities out there for VA to use the technique, not just the technology, but the people that and programs that they can connect with to help them market, I think is a great advantage and one that we want to share with the members of our group. So with that being said, Nanette, first tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Sure. Well, my name is Nanette Thelemaque, as everyone knows, and my business is called In Essence Virtual Assistants, and it's based out of New Hampshire, in the central part of New Hampshire. So where I live is very rural, and that's a concern when even though we're online, this whole business is online, I still live in a rural area. So it's 40 miles from the next biggest town one way and 40 miles the other way. So it's like smack in the woods. And but I spent before leaving my full-time job in November, I spent about 3 years, building my website, promoting myself in groups and LinkedIn, things of that nature. Although I wasn't marketing a lot, I just wanted the awareness to get out there. So my goal was that in 5 years I would retire and then really market what I've already established.
Let's stop
Unfortunately,
one for a moment.
yeah,
You said retire in 5 years?
yes, yeah.
Wow, that's unheard of in the virtual assistant industry. So
Well, no, not retire my virtual assistant, retire my
oh,
full-time job, and
okay.
then market my virtual assistant business full-time. But circumstances made me leave my job sooner than I wanted. So my corporate work, so I had to start marketing myself starting last November very heavily. And, I had some clients, but I needed more now that this was becoming my a source of income. So, and then uh, a series of family events which put a hold on my marketing until March happened. When I got back into it, I started, really thinking of heavily cold calling local companies, networking with local businesses. And then summer hit. And then, as we all know, summer means people's interest goes down. They're more interested in vacationing, and their kids are out of school. So it's really hard to reach people. So I thought about that, and I said, well, how can I utilize my time during the summer? And I decided that what I needed was to just stop and take an assessment of my business, where I am now, what my messaging was my web page really speaking to the audience I was looking for. This was the opportunity in the slow period to really, really work hard on several things. My professional development, where I was weak and needed to get some training, what my messaging was, what my whole business process looked like from the outside. And also to spend the time getting to know local businesses. So that was my goals during
Okay,
the
now
summer.
let's back up
Mm-hmm.
and reiterate. You
Sure.
said 5 or 6 things.
Okay.
So if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
just list them.
Sure.
Don't have to go into detail, but
Okay.
the summer came, you felt it was a great opportunity
Mm-hmm.
because you know that people are not focused on their business versus family,
Right.
kids,
Right.
vacation, etc. And
Right.
so list the 5 things so our listeners can tune in and key in on those things they need to do, no matter if it's summer or winter, any season, something they need to do for their business.
Right. Well, very first thing was assessing my business structure, how I was marketing myself, what my webpage said, what my documents said, and my social media sites. Was my message clear? Was my unique value proposition clear? I looked at my LinkedIn page to see how I could optimize it best, because I truly believe LinkedIn was where I need to find my customers, more than any other social media sites. And what was my weaknesses? So assessing myself, where were my weaknesses in terms of the value I was giving to people? What did I need to strengthen? Summertime is a great time for training, so I thought I'd better look at that as well. And I reached out to all my existing customers and customers I had in the past to see if there was work that they would be open to during the summer, and if not now, at least to be able to put them on my calendar to reach in the fall when they were ready. So those are the things that I concentrated on in the beginning of the summer.
Okay, so now let's move through. You went through that process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that you did make some changes in any phase of that development. So what happened next?
Well, then I was doing a lot of things at once. So when you talk about throwing the balls up in the air, I was training myself at night on online courses, VA Classroom in particular. I was...
Shout out to VA Classroom.
That's right, shout out. I was getting my certificates in areas that I knew I needed to strengthen. I used the internet marketing classroom to assess myself and my business. Use myself as the person, the client, basically. I also made sure that every day before I started, I would look at the local job listings in my area and looked at the kind of clients I was looking for that were posting for social media, for administrative help, and I called them and said, would you consider me, as opposed to hiring somebody? And I gave them the reasons why.
At that point, when you say you look at your local job listings, were these online listings or the newspaper or
I always
through
do
social
everything
media
online.
or what?
Yeah, I always do things online. So Indeed or, Glassdoor, I think it's called. There's a couple of them. If you just go on Google and say jobs in New Hampshire or whatever state you live in, they would come up. And I really assessed them. I was doing a lot of research. So not only did I see their posting and see if it fit a criteria where it doesn't matter if they're in the house or online, then I would research the company, look up their webpage, see what they were doing. How is their webpage? How are they marketing themselves? Did they have social media sites? And really got to know those companies. Then I would call them and say, would you consider someone like me as opposed to hiring someone? And these are the reasons why,
Well, I was going to ask you, even in looking at the website, looking at their social media profile, etc. What did you expect to get from doing that, and how did you use that knowledge?
What did I expect to get by researching them?
By going to their website and by looking at their social media, what would you pull from that? What type of information?
The kind of information I was looking for was learning about their business, what their mission was, how they were positioning themselves, were they positioning themselves properly, how was their website, anything that not only was it to gather information about their company and what they do, so I can show some knowledge and intelligence when I speak with them, but also to see where I could help them. Where were their weaknesses? So I was also assessing them as well as getting to know what they do. Because before you call anybody, you should do that first.
Okay, now there's something that we did not cover in the beginning, which I think I missed. My fault. So that is, what do you specialize in, or what is your niche, so people will know, look at you from the perspective of this is what she's offering, and so that's why she got the responses she received. What type of services are you offering?
I'm a generalist, so I offer administrative, social media, or internet marketing services. I do graphic design and I do multimedia. Those are the four things that I try to sell myself on. And when I say internet marketing, that's including sales support. Whether it's prospecting, and I have clients that I do prospecting for, and I've done cold calling for customers. So it's the whole marketing, from funnel marketing, everything. So those are that's my background. And, sometimes what I found was calling someone about administrative tasks led to social media or web design. Those things I know how to do. So when I was going for one thing, they were saying, well, I need this. And I was able to talk to them about that. So, yeah, go ahead.
How conducive were these companies that you were cold calling to actually talking with you and exploring
Right.
if they wanted to work with someone virtually?
Some were very open. Some were not interested. Some asked, what is it, a virtual assistant? And I had to explain what it is. And some said, well, maybe down the line, but not right now. And I just marked that down on my, to-do of who to go after later. So cold calling is not easy, but it's a necessary part if you want to build a clientele fast. And it's not only just getting on the phone, it's meeting people face up. But before I go talk about that aspect, I want to just stress the importance of actually cold calling. Finding customers that your ideal customers, doing the research to find them, learning about their company and what they do, looking at their sites and how they do things, finding out like weaknesses they may have that you can talk to, and then getting on the phone and cold calling. And the only thing I can suggest is that prepare yourself, do your research, write a script that you will probably mend over and over again so you can do what you want. Have a hard shell. If somebody's nasty to you, want to get off the phone, don't take it personal. He's probably busy, or they are, or you don't want them as a customer. So either those are the reasons, and just move on. And I had to train myself to do this every morning for at least an hour. Either set a set amount of people that you're going to call, or, and I was using LinkedIn too. Sometimes, there's no phone calls or you can't get through to somebody. So I was doing in-mail on my LinkedIn and reaching out to them that way. So I had a script for LinkedIn. I had a script for cold calling. So I wrote all those things out, and I did that every day.
Okay, so at that point, people are going to say, and when I say people, I mean VAs,
Mm-hmm.
are going to say, oh my God, a script? I don't know anything about preparing a script. So my question to you is, are you willing to give us a markup of the scripts that you use so that people can then develop it around their own business? I know I'm asking a lot, so you can say no, not a problem. People need to do their own work. But is there like a dummy script you can share that I
Sure.
can, disseminate to our members and put it up in the file section? They
Mm-hmm.
can go from there and go forward.
Yeah, I do, because I did, again, a lot of research about the best scripts on sales sites that I knew of, and books that I've read. So I can give you a dummy script that you can customize for yourself.
Fantastic. Okay. Doing good. Doing good. Okay. Go ahead to the next phase.
Well, the next phase, is getting out and networking. I did, and I don't know if anybody does this, but I use SCORE a lot. They have the greatest webinars. Here's a shout out to SCORE. And they have a lot of resources that you can pull out on how to do a business plan and how to market and how to do this and that. So I decided I make an appointment to see a mentor.
Okay, before you go further, and I'm
Mhm.
very familiar with SCORE,
Mhm.
I actually wrote my first business plan through SCORE mentorship,
Wow.
two-page business plan. And that's why I advocate a written
Mhm.
plan now and have
Mhm.
always done that.
Right.
Tell people what SCORE is and what they do. A lot of people hear the
Right.
acronym, you don't have to give me the official
Right.
explanation, but overall, what
Right.
is SCORE? And I started my business in 1990, and they helped me then.
Right.
So they've been around for, I don't want to say hundreds of years, ages.
Right. Right. Well, and in case you have international, this is a United States government program which gives you free resources and is there to help all small businesses and entrepreneurs get on their feet and give them the right resources for free from, from experienced people on how to build your business. And their site is, you just sign up. They will offer webinars. They will, they have resources that you can pull down, templates. They have all kinds of things on their website. And if you're building a business, it's great to focus on virtual assistant material, but also you're running a business in a general sense. And so you want the foundations for building this. So you need to go to SCORE and get these resources.
And you can just go online or Google score.org. I
That's
believe
right.
is the official address. And I'm sure for those in other countries, there's some similar
It must be.
comparable type business group in your area.
Right, right. And so I went to a mentor. He assessed my webpage and whatever, but he did tell me that I should be, as he put it, look local. Don't, it's great that you're online and you're looking out there, but concentrate on local. And then anything outside of that is cream on the cake, And he was right. I wasn't paying attention, and I assumed because I'm in a rural area that it's, not going to work for me. And but I realized there are small businesses. There's a little town up the street. There's bigger towns 40 minutes north and south of me, and I need to take advantage of that. So I joined a couple of Chamber of Commerce's. I joined a small micro business group where we all get together and support each other. And by doing that, there are people who got to know me and know what I do. And now I've worked with some of them, small projects, and some of them are considering me down the line for more. And people are recommending me.
Just on that point, you're talking to the choir here, because back when I started, I joined 7 Chamber of Commerce at the same time.
Wow.
And would go to all those meetings, all of them in Maryland,
right.
But again, local and in the outer areas. And I became an ambassador to a lot of those chambers. So I was the first person new members would meet. And so it gave me an opportunity to really get up close and personal with them, because I had to learn about their business, and it gave me an opportunity to tell them about mine. And that's how I grew and got referrals through that networking. So chambers can be expensive, the membership, but it's well worth it to use them to help grow your business too.
Right, and ask them how they can help you to promote yourself. Because, a lot of times you go to some of these things, everybody's talking in groups and nobody's letting me in. I had that experience. But there's several chambers around me. And so when one said, oh, do you want to renew with me? And I tell them the truth. I would be happy to. But, breaking in with your group is pretty hard. You're kind of cliquey. I know, I'm trying to do the same thing your members are trying to do. And I want to work with people who want to talk to me. But I found the right groups that's worth my money, that are open to talk, give value, and allow me to have my chances to spotlight what I do. But not only that, to educate. We'd have topics that we would talk. And when I gave my opinion on certain topics of marketing and negotiating, that gave me credence. And people start saying, well, she knows what she's talking about. That helps your business. That may seem like it's a waste of time, but that's the way you build that's how you build your clientele, and you got to do it.
And for those that are concerned about the money, most chambers offer your first free breakfast free. You go to a local monthly networking breakfast or an evening meeting, and you're invited. You don't have to worry about any expenses. They have a little a round table session where you get to talk to the people at your table, usually 10 people sitting there, and you can introduce your business then. So even if you don't have a lot of money, pick the chambers you want to join or get information about, and let them invite you to that first chamber meeting. So you do have an opportunity to get a feel for them before you decide if you want to join or not.
And the other thing too is, well, especially for this small networking group that I was in, the one who was heading it was, he also ran a business and he was getting overwhelmed with what he needed to do. So I volunteered. It took me 1 hour a week to do something that helped him run this networking business. By volunteering, he sees how quick I am, how efficient I am, and he promotes me. So volunteer if you can. You know, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's go forward. What's next?
So by calling a couple of people and actually applying I found a couple of virtual assistant, actual virtual assistant jobs in one of the job posting sites. By applying, I got a call, and then at the same time, I was reaching out to my past coworkers to remind them about my business and if they know of anybody. And it seemed like after all this hard work and making my plans, and implementing them and being consistent, which is the key word, consistent, I got a referral, which I'm waiting to hear a proposal for. From cold calling, I got a very big opportunity to do not only revamp a web page, but to give monthly SEO marketing and social media marketing services on a monthly basis after that. And I, from a job post that for a virtual assistant that I applied to, I got myself a coach and a doctor of wellness that I'm doing administrative tasks for. Boom, 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 boom. 3 in 1.
All right.
And
so, bottom line, don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
That's right.
I know they say that virtual assistants are introverts, but if you're going to run a business, you can't be an introvert. You have to step up and step out. Online is fine, but as Nanette says, local is important. So you need to take this advice and do what you need to do to grow your business. If you don't, it's going to be a hobby.
That's right.
Just as simple.
That's right. And I couldn't let this be a hobby. This I need to pay my bills. And so, and so that was my motivation. And so, I would get sweaty hands and, cold calling, you kind of get like tight. You do it enough times and it starts getting easier. Then you start learning what's the best way to make your intro. Then you learn, that, I know this. You start knowing right away what somebody's going to say. And then you start learning how to people. I'm not saying, give me your business. I'm actually talking to them about what are their issues, what are their needs, what is it they find hard to accomplish during the day. And then I'm able to talk about what I offer. So, how I could help. So that's what you're doing. You're educating and you're trying to get those pain points to get them to listen. And that's really what you want to do. And that's, in the beginning, I was just saying, "Hey, hi, my name is, Miss Virtual Assistant, and I do this, this, this." Well, that's not exactly what they want to hear. They're busy, but what they want, but you catch them when you start saying. So, the reason for my call is I was wondering, when you're asking them what is their day like, what is it, that's on their plate right now that they'd love to get off, have somebody else do. Is it an issue for them? Are they able to hire somebody for that? And some of them are saying, well, I can't. Well, then here's an alternative. And you tell them that, and all of a sudden they're listening. So that's how I got the cold call. It was based on the posting. And the big one that I got, it was based on a posting. And I called them. I said, would you consider this? And they said, sure, we would. They didn't respond back to me. I was a director of marketing. She didn't respond back to me, even though I pinpoint her on a day I will return her call. She asked me for me to email stuff, and I said, sure, I'll email it, but I'd like to talk to you about what I email. And so can we make it a date on Monday, because it was a weekend, it was just before the weekend, for me to follow up with you? She goes, yeah, this way I'll have time to look at your stuff. Well, I called, of course, I get the voicemail, 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 voicemail. So I went on LinkedIn, found her boss, sent it to him. He responded through LinkedIn, says, I want to talk to you. So don't let one person stop you. You just try
Hey,
other means. You know?
there's that finger. We're famous for that finger. No, no, no.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I mean, you have to, you know, she could have been busy, or maybe she didn't take it seriously. But, you know, when I looked on LinkedIn on their business, there were two of them that were the decision makers. When one didn't respond, when she said she would, then I went to the other. So you have to be persistent and you have to be consistent.
Well, and the bottom line is if you need those funds to run your life and your household, then you will be.
Right.
Or, again, it's a hobby. So,
Exactly.
Nanette, is there anything else you would like to share with
Yeah.
our fellow industry members about how to go about being persistent and consistent, getting your background information together, and going through the process of preparing yourself first, and
Right.
then stepping out there and
Right.
approaching businesses?
Well, yes, I do. Because you know, I don't know how many times I've heard have a plan first, and I was just running, you know, full speed ahead, and say, oh yeah, 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 I got a plan. It's like up here somewhere. That doesn't work. Really take the time to sit down and have a plan. I'm still working on my plan. I all of a sudden by doing these things, I became too busy to finish off what I had on my list, like update my web page, make sure my messaging is clear. Because now I have clients that they come first. But I know that at night when my downtime is to continue doing that. I do have a plan, you know, and I have to implement my plan no matter how busy I get. I have to do this. So I would say that first and foremost, assess yourself, assess your business and your messaging. Make sure you have a marketing plan of your own. You know, quite frankly, you know, if you're selling that service to somebody, you better make sure you're capable of doing it for yourself. And then make sure that you're always got a prospect for your business. So make sure, you know, you have set in your schedule that you're calling somebody every day, even if you think you're having a lot of customers, because somebody could fall off. And then you're going to have to start it from scratch, and you don't want that. You want to have a routine of make sure your scripts are set, and then take, if it's an hour a day in the morning or the afternoon or whatever works that you can reach people, make sure you reach people either through LinkedIn or from phone calls. You know, locally, do a direct mailing. I'm doing a direct mailing for my local customers around here, so they have something that they could take. You know, so take the time to do that. Go to after hours, you know, business after hours. Take the time to do those things, because that's in the evening anyway, usually, so the end of your workday. So make sure you plan that in your busy schedules. You have to if you want to have customers. And so those are the things, you know, investing in your intellectual capital, networking locally, taking advantage of SCORE, and making sure that you have a plan.
There's that finger.
I'm sorry.
Have that plan. No, we're famous for the finger. Have that plan. That's
Exactly.
really important.
Yeah.
And when people say to you, you don't need a plan, then they're lying. Number one, there's
Right.
my thumb. But
Yeah.
number two, it says to you, they don't have a plan.
That's right.
No matter what it is they're trying to tell you or teach you, if they don't have a plan that they're using themselves, especially for, and this is a pet peeve of mine, so I'm going to say it now, those VAs who call themselves trainers and coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have a plan themselves,
Right.
then I would not advise you to hire them to help train you.
That's right.
Did I lose you?
I'm here.
Hello?
Hello, I'm here. I think,
Okay, my daughter called,
Oh,
and it went blank. So anyway, that was my closing. So I guess that's my cue. So Nanette,
mhm.
I'm going to get this ready to post and put it out on our Facebook page and on the website, etc. If you can send me that
Sure.
dummy script, I'll make sure that's included with it.
Okay.
And we just, I hope everybody got something out of today's session. And that shared so many different tips and ways you can get your business together and put it out there in your local area. And then you'll be surprised what you get from that without even going national or international.
Right.
Start locally.
Right.
When you say rural, as she said, there's still small towns around, and those small towns also have small business owners.
Mhm.
So don't let the word rural turn you off. Step out there and you'll be surprised at the opportunities you may be able to get. Thanks so much, Nanette, for being
You're
here.
welcome.
I'm going to say your name one more time and hopefully correctly. Nanette Thelemaque has
Perfect.
given us time today to share the experience she had over the summer, showing us the hard work she put in to grow her virtual assistant business, and we hope everybody else does the same. Once again, Nanette, thanks so much for being with us today.